Welcome to Hybris Conversations. My name is Suresh Kochatal. Public relations, they say, is an art. It is the art of persuading media, it's the art of persuading image, it's the art of persuading a communication to suit the company's requirements. Often, what needs to be said is often said through public relations. Over the year, PR has changed in the way it is dealt with. Professionalism has crept in, but so has competition. Media has changed from the traditional print to digital, and that in itself presents a whole lot of challenges. To discuss this and more, we have with us today Dr. Ajay Agarwal, a former public relations head of the Central Bank of India, a gentleman who has straddled the PR industry like a colossus over a period of time. He is more busy after he retired from the bank. Today he sits on the board of many a company. He is a guest lecturer at a number of universities. He sits on the board of some of the institutions that he would not have been possible when he was in the PR. But more importantly and impressive, he did his PhD just a few months ago. And more interestingly, a former hockey player and also a hockey umpire. Now, all that is packing a lot into somebody's curriculum. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Agarwal knows a lot more than that about this industry. So let's talk to him and ask him what's happening in PR. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Surajji. You have spoken very nice about me. I must thank you for that good words you have used for me.
Now, the idea of public relations, when you join a bank, usually you are a banker. But can you tell me what motivated you or what made you get into the PR part of the bank and not be a part of the regular operations part of the bank?
See, basically when I joined bank, my father, he was a social worker. So a lot of people used to come to my house, and whenever they used to come, he used to introduce to them. Come, my all brother and sister, come discuss with them for 5 minutes, say hi, hello, discuss with them and go. So that feeling started in me, and that was a motivation from his side. When I joined bank, my approach is there, I never sit idle. I go on doing something. So when I joined bank as a PRO, so as a clerk in Central Bank of India, Rampur, UP, I started writing articles for the newspapers. I was correspondent of 7 newspapers before joining the bank, freelance. Then I started giving the radio talks. Even All India Radio, they have taken my interview as a captain Kho-Kho. I was university captain Kho-Kho also.
Okay, apart from hockey.
Apart from hockey. So that makes me writer and I have written many articles in the newspapers also that has been very well covered, very well liked by the people. So that motivated me. Then bank advertised for the PRO's post within the bank. So I applied for that. And based on my qualification, I was the person having highest experience and qualification regarding this public relation. So I was selected and posted to Hyderabad in 1984.
Oh, long back.
Long back. When I came here, I don't know whether it is right or wrong. I want to be different from others. And wherever I want to go, wherever I am, I want to outstanding. So when I came here to Hyderabad, I was not knowing even a single person in Hyderabad. Okay. Now I feel proud. I can say that at least 4 to 5 lakhs people know me in person or by name. So that is my achievement.
So when you say that you applied for a job, for PR job within the bank, what exactly was the role? Well, I mean, because in 1984, PR was not evolved as a profession. People are hardly getting to know what it was. So what was it like, being a PR professional in a bank in 1984?
See, I came here as a PRO for entire Andhra and Karnataka states. Earlier it was a joint United Andhra. So as I told you, I want to be different from others. And PR is not the only thing when I come to you for some work and keep quiet. I feel PR is a different thing. In PR, we have to maintain the personal relationship. I develop the personal relationship with the people, with the media people, with the correspondents, editors, and everywhere. Not only that, even including in our bank also, I develop a personal relationship with the people, and I feel unless your image is there, you cannot develop the image of the organization. So side by side, I was developing my image to get interaction and to get closeness with the people from whom I am going to take the work for my bank. I developed the thing and I never felt any problem during that time, and they used to support me. See, in fact, public relations in Hyderabad in banking sector, there was a given impetus by me only because so many other banks they were having PRO, but they were not active. After coming of me here to Hyderabad, they also started following me. Small example I will like to give it to you. Ajruddin, he hit 3 centuries in continuation. Right. He was working as a clerk in State Bank of India, just opposite to my bank. So we were having a central card. We wanted to give him a central card. My zonal manager told, you call him. I invited him. We gave a central card to him, and we sent the photographs to the press. All the press people in Hyderabad, they published the photograph with the news with the photographs. So he told to me next day, he told, "Yaar, you have made me to suffer. What happened?" My CGM called me and fired me. Are you working for Central Bank or are you working for State Bank of India? So that type of relationship I have developed. Because I want to be different from others, to do something with the aim to get the image for the organization.
Now, when you say the image for an organization, quite often public relation professionals have to struggle between to get the media's image right in the newspapers, in the television channels. Those days digital was not a big thing, and even no social media those days. But over a period of time, that has changed. Okay, the accent on getting articles written has changed into developing an image for the organization. It's more of a marketing, mix of things that was happening. So how did you see the world changing from 1984 till when you retired? How has the public relations field changed?
See, change is a must.
Constant.
And unless we keep a pace with the change, no organization, no expert, no professional can survive. So that is very important, and if we don't adjust with the change and ourselves, it is difficult to function. So every time we have to see that our first thing is relationship. I always believed in having good relationship with the people, with the organization, not only with my organization, our clients, or people with whom I was dealing, even with others also. I interact and used to talk to them respectfully. One more thing I would like to tell you, I always believed taking the blessings of my elders. So this has helped me to come to this level.
That is wonderful to hear, because today's youngsters often think that PR is a very glamorous field. I mean, that is what it has come post 2000, since the advent of television. And quite often it is not just networking, but it goes beyond that. And the PR field actually has got into a lot of bad blood because of that particular thing. But I'm sure, as you saw, Mr. Agarwal, you developed that niche that you developed in the banking system. But I see today that you are more busy after retirement. How is it? So most of people usually put up their feet, read a book, play with their grandchildren. But you seem to be on the board of many companies. You seem to be traveling. You're guest lectures and everything. How do you handle so many things?
See, as you told very clearly, nicely, that PR is not glamorous. I feel it is not glamorous, but people thought it is glamorous. But if you feel that it is glamorous, you will enjoy more. So what I have to do, person has to do, there are a lot of challenges in that. PR is not a easy and cup of tea for everyone. It should have flair, you should have a sense of feeling that you want to do. My approach was there. Whenever I used to take any assignment, I never compromised. So when I am taking assignment, I am coming to you for support. If you ask me the facts about my organization, I should never hide from you. I should tell you the correct things. Sometimes management may not like it, but if I keep you into confidence and request you, you will keep it with you because of the relationship. But you know that, yes, Mr. Agarwal is there, he is a person, he will not talk, he will not hide, and he is a straightforward person, he will give the correct information, he will not misguide and not give the correct information about the organization. So that helped me first thing. And taking the, doing the things with a commitment. Once you do something, there should be aim to achieve that thing. True. There I never compromised. And as you talk about after retirement, I took VRS in 2016 from the bank because they posted me to Bhopal as a SLBC in charge. So I don't want to go. My wife was alone here. So I took VRS. Then one company I joined in Delhi as a Vice President Corporate Relations. Okay. There I am working as a country head for entire country head, and my only condition was with them this, that I will work from Hyderabad.
Today you can do it. Today everybody works from home actually.
No, I joined in 2016, but from that day onwards, everywhere my condition, because out of 34 years in my job, 32 and a half years I was in Hyderabad in the same office.
So you are a UPite who came to Hyderabad and drank the Gandipet ka pani and became a Hyderabadi.
I have become Hyderabadi, no doubt about that. 36 years I have completed.
How different is it now that you're handling a private organization's public relations? Do you see a substantial difference between that and what you did earlier in your public sector role in a bank?
See, public sector roles, sometimes we have to face a problem because the rules and regulations, they come in your way. Sometimes bosses, they don't like. See, suppose, what is my feeling, suppose if I do something, say for example, we are going to a function, the person who has invited for the function, naturally he knows me well than my boss. He will greet me first. Sometimes the bosses, they don't like this. They feel,
it's an ego issue.
This comes an ego. So sometimes I have to face an ego. But I don't know, blessings of my father, parents, mother, and blessings of the God, and blessings of the elder. I can say I have been very successful whichever assignment I have taken. Sometimes rough weather comes, it is a part of the life, we have to accept it.
Now, you have been training as a part of, you are also the president of the Public Relations Society of India, PRSI. So, training today's generation next, or even the present generation into public relations as such. That aspect of it, how have you dealt with over the years since you were with the PRSI? How has that organization helped in creating a larger pool, a talented pool of professionals to come into this field?
See, I always believe that you must pass on your knowledge to the younger generation, to others. Because unless you pass on, the things will not develop. PR itself has a very bad reputation. So, we should make the people aware. PR is not a bad profession. It is a very challenging profession, and it is everybody does PR. It's not like that only bank does PR or any organization does PR. Even we do PR in our house also. Correct. We do PR with our children also. We learn from a lot of things from them. So my approach was there to train the people. I used to train the people in my bank. I used to train the staff people. I used to go to give lectures to Commercial Taxes Department, various universities. Even I have given lectures to IAS officers also. So I always believe in imparting the training to go on. The profession should go on and go on improving the thing. And I always tell, the change is a must. Change is happening. You must keep a pace with the change, with the staff members also, with the wherever I go. So that was my aim, to impart the training to what is PR. Sometimes we have to teach them also what is PR, how to use PR, how to speak, when to speak, what not to speak. These are the very small things. The communication is a very vast subject. See, when you are talking about the PR, communication is most important. And then again, you have to decide what type of communication you want. You have to decide the audience, what type of audience you are going to interact. According to that, you have to select the media. So many things are there: internal communication, external communication, rural communication, different type of communications. You have to use different media.
Mr. Agarwal, now the problem today, in today's world of, luckily you are out of it, but you are still in the private sector handling PR, is the fact that the social media, you could control you could influence a newspaper, you could influence a television by talking about your things. But today, this world of social media, be it Facebook, be it Twitter, be it any of those blogs or anything for that matter, there's no control on it. Because you don't know who the person is. And in about 5 minutes, it can damage the image of an organization which has been built up for over 50 years. Now, in such a time, how different or how difficult is it for you as a PR professional to handle anything that comes on social media?
See, social media, there are a lot of benefits also, at the same time, lot of drawbacks also. And we cannot avoid that. So when we cannot avoid, the Twitter is there, you can tweet anyone. Anyone can tweet at any time, so nobody can stop that. Like Facebook is there, anybody can post anything. So after that, after effects are much crucial than the thing. So we have to be very careful, we have to be very active, proactive, and we have to do our best to portray the image of the organization in a proper way through media. If anything comes bad about the thing, immediately we should react to that, keeping the pros and cons in the mind.
But in a social media scenario, you don't know who the person is. For example, it's an individual tweeting about your organization, or if you assume that you are still in the bank, tweeting about the bad services of a bank. And often the public sector banks are slow in reacting. I mean, as you said, they have their own rules and regulations, they have to go through a hierarchy. A private sector bank may react faster to this. So in such a scenario, in today's world of social media, leave alone newspapers and television, as I said, how does one handle this? Because you don't know who the person is, but the damage is being done. How quickly do you react? Because even I find it pretty difficult sometimes to understand. I mean, right from the Prime Minister downward, everybody, I mean, when he goes to Leh, he gets attacked on social media. But how does one handle all this?
See, this is order of the day. Even as you rightly told, even people are not sparing the Prime Minister also. So many people are there for their own benefit. What I feel, see, I am there in the social media, I should not talk bad about you unless I am 100% sure. See, it's very easy, but building image, it takes long time. And if it required, we should react immediately to make the people aware.
Like that is one of the problems I often faced, especially in Indians are very good in sales. Indian companies are very good, but when it comes to customer service, we are very bad, isn't it? And social media is a place where a lot of people talk about customer service.
See, when the criticisms will be there, it should be taken as a positive criticism if it is correct. So if it is positive criticism, we have to appreciate the thing and change according to the criticism. If it is not there, if it is wrong criticism, if it is spoiling or hurting the image of the organization, then we should react and respond to that media immediately. We should not delay it, because people's memory is very short. Once something comes, they will remember that thing and they will forget. So we should not delay the things, but before reacting, responding to any news item or anything in the media, we should think twice or thrice. Plan it, go in a very systematic way to see that things are corrected.
Look, that's one of the reasons I often tell today's youngsters, especially those who are in marketing and communication, that the speed with which you react on social media should be pretty fast, because the damage, as I said before, can be immense in a matter of few minutes. But Mr. Agarwal, also a very interesting fact about you is that most of people do their PhDs when they are in their early 30s or even late 30s. But you did your PhD pretty late. Why so?
Again, it's very interesting. When I was born, my parents were very much anxious to see me as a doctor.
Okay.
My father told me, "Beta, I want to see you as a doctor." So I tried, I did BSc, then I wrote examination for doctorate, MBBS and other things. I was not successful. In the meantime, I joined bank and I came to this level. But there was a feeling that my father has asked me, his feeling was there, my son should become a doctor. So after coming to Hyderabad as a PRO, I did bachelor's in public relations, then master's in public relations. There was a gap, but intention was there that I want to keep up the promise to my father. I want to show that, yes, I have done PhD. Then in PhD, though I am BSc LLB, I was second position holder in law also in the university. That is treated as a bachelor's degree. Okay. And in for doing the PhD, you should have master's degree plus 55% marks. So I did masters in public relations from Venkateshwara University with the aim that I should get 65% marks. Then only I can write PhD. If I aim 65% marks, at least I will get 55% marks. So I wrote the examination and luckily I got 63% marks.
So what was the subject of the PhD you did?
I did PhD, what is the contribution of banking for national economy. This I have done, and I'm very happy that my parents must be feeling very happy and proud of me. Even my family, they have supported me to come to this level.
Now, when you say that, when you did your so many degrees that you have done and then you did your PhD and all this, end of the day, it must be your practical experience that counts more than anything else. When you go to speak at public forums, when you advise clients now that you're on board of so many companies, it must be a practical experience that is coming to the fore. According to you, if I ask you the top 3 things which a PR professional should have, what are the top 3 qualities that one person should have who wants to get into public relations?
First thing, he should have flair for public relations.
Okay, he or she should have a flair for public relations.
He should, because unless you have got a flair for that, you cannot be successful person. PR, as I told you, PR is not a cup of tea of everyone. Flair for that, commitment. And one more thing I would like to say, you have to be different from others. See, this is a market. So many people, so many professionals are sitting. If you have to get a mileage and place in the society, recognition, you cannot achieve your aim. So you must do something different from others. If you are not doing some different from others, how you will get mileage? So for getting a mileage, you should be different from others and take initiative. And besides this, you should have flair for PR, that you should start PR from yourself. You cannot expect. A charity begins at home, and PR starts from you.
So when you finally, at the end of the day, when you look back at your long career in the bank as a PR, you could have been a national hockey player, you could have been a national hockey empire if you had persisted with sports. But I'm sure that you had so much things that you did, in your career, that you did law, you did sports, you had the banking career. When you look at all that and when you look at the final position that you are in right now in terms of how happy are you with your life?
Frankly speaking, Surajji, I am very happy with my life, with my achievements. I am from a small town.
Why I asked you that question was, is there something else unfulfilled? Because if you can do a PhD at this age, I'm sure there's something else that you would like to do.
See, my aim is that I don't want to die unheard.
That's a good one.
I have created my image in the field of public relations. This March, I got a Dr. K.R. Singh Memorial Lifetime Achievement Award in the field of public relations. That is given the highest award in the field of public relations. But that doesn't stop me for going further ahead.
It's like getting a Dada Saheb Phalke.
But my approach is there. I don't want to die unheard, and I want to do something for the society. Because whatsoever I am today, it is because of the society. So I want to do something for the society. Because of that, I am also associated with so many social and cultural organizations in the country. And I am doing a lot of service to the people, to the society through my organization.
Mr. Agarwal, when, as a parting question, I would like to ask, I often asked you, what is the advice for youngsters, what is the advice for people? But quite often, today's youngsters are ambitious to a certain extent what is there for me. But as a public relations professional, I mean, since I was in journalism for a long time, I know for sure that today's editors don't really look at public relations professionals as a professional himself. They look at them as some kind of person who wants to create publicity. When you talked about the start of the interview, about how to build those relationships, today's youngsters don't know how to build that relationships. So what would your advice be on how to build this relationship with editors and with the magazine editors, with television editors, with social media influencers, all these people? Building relationships is not everybody's cup of tea. It takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of hand holding to do that. What is your take on that?
Being ambitious is not bad, but ambitious means for what purpose you are ambitious. You should be ambitious to achieve your aim wherever you are working. You should do your duty. Once you take the responsibility, you must do the justice to the duty. This is my aim, and whenever I have taken any responsibility, I have not compromised there. So that gives you an edge over others. And building a relationship is a must. Everybody does it. Even we did it by my wife. Suppose if I am not maintaining my good relations with her, evening she will not give me food. My children will not listen to me if I don't maintain the good relationship.
It all starts in the family.
Family. So that not only starts in the family, that starts the day you are born. A child is crying for what?
Attention.
He wants to communicate, send a message to his mother, I am hungry, I want milk. So like a public relation is a subject which everybody does, knowingly or unknowingly. If I do public relations knowingly, I am sure a success will follow you. You need not to follow success, success will follow you. Even we learn PR from the animals. Though you must be, lot of people must be having a pet in their houses. I always give this example. When you go out, owner goes out from the house, the dog will go on revolving around him and he will come up to the gate, see him off. The evening when he comes back, he will go on revolving around you till you pat him or hug him. So what he wants to convey? Dogs also, they do also PR, public relations. We have to learn from them. His dog wants to communicate that I missed you and now you have come, I am very happy, I welcome you.
Mr. Agarwal, I know we can go on with this conversation for quite some time, but the time constraints actually, my producer is pointing out that I'm out of time, but it's wonderful that to have you here and speak to us. I'm sure that today's youngsters have a lot to learn from you, because those who are just crept into the profession, those who are moved into the profession, or those who are thinking to move into this profession, need to understand that public relations is a long haul game. Yes. It is not an instant 2-minute stuff that happens. And today you cannot influence people just like that. There's a lot of skill that you need to acquire over a period of time. Thank you for sharing your time. Thank you for sparing your valuable skills with us and letting us know a lot about public relations. Wonderful having you all.
Thank you, Surajji, for a nice interaction and nice questions you have asked me. I would like to tell my younger generation to follow the public relation in your life, day-to-day life, wherever you are, not only professionals or a house person or whatever, a businessman. If you follow the PR ethics, PR with the intention, you will never fail. This is my suggestion.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Ajay Agarwal, a banker who quit early so that he could pursue his dreams. Many people, after they retire, gracefully slip into playing with their grandchildren or read books, as I mentioned before. But Mr. Agarwal is busier than before now, taking his experience to the world and telling today's youngsters and today's professionals about what public relations is all about. I'm sure you have learned a lot in the last half an hour. Thank you for watching.